Welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson. And this week I'm just going to do an update on the 210 behind me. And basically we're just going to kind of cover what happens this weekend. So I've got some flow issues I'm going to deal with. I'm going to put that purple tang back in there. And I got some frag tank stuff going on. And what the heck, I got a gimbal. So I'm going to shoot a lot of this on the gimbal just so I can learn how to use it. My Glamorca pump started running really slowly, so I've torn it completely apart. It's been soaking in vinegar for about 4 days. Now I gotta put it back together and see if it works. All right, here's that Glamorca pump. It's on the tank and it's working so well. It's putting out so much more flow than it was before. All right, let's take a minute and talk about the tanks. So to recap, I bought the hybrid black tank. Tried to put it in here using an acclimation box and it failed miserably. He got his butt kicked and I had to pull him out. So then I pulled out the two purples, the hybrid black tang and the yellow tang, and put them all back in at the same time, and it still failed. One of the purple tangs was super aggressive and kept beating on the hybrid black tang. So I pulled that aggressive purple tang out and put it downstairs for 3 weeks in the frag tank. Well, the 3 weeks are up. So I've put the purple tang back in the 210. I've just put the second purple in, and initially there is some pecking order they're figuring out. So right now it's just between the two purples. They're trying to figure out who's top fish. Hopefully it all goes well. So I'll give you another little update on how well the tangs are doing at the end of the video. But for now, let's go downstairs and let's take a look at the frag tanks. The frag tanks are doing a lot better. I've gotten rid of all of the algae in here, and it's looking so much better than the last update I did. So with the algae gone, I've gone ahead and put the eco drifts down here. I love the eco drifts. They put out a lot of flow, super controllable. So I love having the eco drifts down here. But with the eco drifts, I've got a ton more flow. My coral are blowing into each other. I've got a lot of detritus. That's why the water is dirty like that. So I need to get that detritus sucked out of here. And then I need to figure out something about real Fragrax in here to help keep things from blowing around. I'm actually losing frags because everything's blowing into each other, hurting each other. You can kind of see back there, those look like crap. And it's all just a mix of detritus and stuff blowing into each other. So that's the big stuff that needs to happen down here. All morning I've been working on my fish tanks. Now it's time to do something with the family. So tell us what we're doing here today, Ian.
So guys, we're going to put Mentos in soda. I know how it's going to work. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. See how it goes out.
All right, so not as crazy as we thought it was gonna be. What do you think?
I thought it was so cool that I thought it was going to burst out and be so cool. We forgot to add something. I forgot to taste it. And we're gonna put this in and I'm gonna stick my head down and taste it. Okay.
I think it's not the Mentos, but you run out of carbon dioxide.
Oh my god, guys, that is so good.
So after doing some family time, I've decided it's time to put some Fragrax in those frag tanks. They're just a necessity for me at this point. And here's the frag tanks with the new Fragrax, and they look really good. There's nothing special going on with these Fragrax. It's a white egg crate with white PVC zip tied to it to hold it up. Nothing special at all. But it is gonna give me the ability to start putting corals in here, locking them in with the frag plugs that stick down into the Fragrax so they don't blow around like you see these big colonies doing. And it is also going to give me the ability to really start fragging some coral out, which should give me some interesting projects for the future. The 24-gallon Nano continues to thrive. Everything I got from Worldwide Corals is doing so good. The colors are amazing. Everything's just exactly how you want it to be. The corals are super healthy. A lot of this I attribute to the Kessel light that I've added. Before, if you remember, I had a metal halide, but I love having the Kessel with the Kessel controller, I can just get such awesome coloration out of this now. And it's showing up in the corals. They look fantastic. High-end corals with a nice light, and it just looks stunning. Going forwards, I want to add a lot more zoanthids and LPS to this tank. Overall, this 210 is doing really well. The hybrid black Tang's in. He's just a member of the community now. Everything is going well. There's no violence towards him at all. The problem is that new purple Tang is getting chased around the tank by the yellow Tang and the other purple Tang. So it's going to take a little while for him to acclimate. So hopefully that all goes well in the future. But really, I'm happy with what's going on with the 210. It's starting to do really well. We're kind of right in the morning, right when the lights came on. It's not perfect. The only thing that's really recuperating is all the fragging I did for the Hillcrest tank, but really I had to do a lot of that just to make room for this green Monty. It was getting overgrown, and I wanted to also make room for the Pavona in back. I really like these corals, and I want them to continue to thrive. Going forwards, I think I'm gonna frag some room here to make a little more room for that bird's nest, and maybe move the bird's nest back a little bit just to make the room. The only other thing that's really going on is because I fixed the Glamorca, I've got a ton more flow, and the tank's getting used to it. So you can see this sinularia, which used to kind of cover this whole section, is now kind of pulled upward and has exposed this kind of bleached bit. So that'll kind of color up and grow into that area. So the flow changed, so the entire tank is getting used to the new flow, which used to be the old flow. But it's amazing how just fixing a pump can make such a change to the tank. But really, it's got to be done. The tank's doing great, other than a few minor little things. All right, there we go. There's how everything is going with my fish, my system, and it's all doing pretty well for the most part. Now, remember, next weekend, February 24th and February 25th, is ReefStock at the Radisson Hotel. I'm going to be there filming this show, so if you can make it, definitely go there. It's the biggest show of the year for Colorado. So if you see me, stop me, and we'll talk reefing. So thanks for watching this episode of Mile High Reefers, and I'll see you on the next one.